back, money back, woo. Money back, money back, money back. With me pretty too, they look like bridesmaids. And they all gang, so don't be talking sideways. He said you look like this. He made sure he put Cardi down on his list. Now why this? And I look at my snap. I take your man and I won't give him back. I just walk into the booth and attack. I hit this button, the roof will collapse. I've been broke my whole life. I have no clue what to do with these racks. They be late, waist snatch. Back, straight back. Got lips like Angelina. Belly truck tangerine. Jumping on my. That's why they call it trampoline. Babe, like a Monday, throw everybody. This is sweet Saturday, that's just what plastic. I say, babe, it's a. He said it's a. Them pretty. You look like Beyonce. Looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, yeah. Money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back. He can tell from the front, I got it behind me. And I park my Bentley truck on my Versace driveway. Looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back.
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Carolina Panthers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at Bank of America Stadium in uptown Charlotte. A short time ago, a scene that never fails to stir up the folks here in Charlotte. Cam Newton strutting his way onto the field. His guys are fired up as they get set to go toe-to-toe with the Minnesota Vikings. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they interplay here. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, it's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, and none other than Cam Newton.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. A bad false start penalty there. Now 2nd and 6. McCaffrey following the penalty. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5. From the gun, here's Newton. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with a running back. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Escaping the pressure right. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down. Pretty lucky to get the football back. Had his target out there waving the arms, saying I'm open, but maybe didn't see him quick enough.
And I know the jokes are always about defensive backs' hands. What really actually happens, you don't get many opportunities. You get over anxious and you start to think about taking it away and going the other way instead of focusing and catching the ball.
15 yards through the air on a 1st down. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
Yeah, we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got the turnover. We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Looking to throw. Buying time to his left. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. They'll look to throw. And his pass incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. Flushed out right, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Shaq Lawson in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down.
We're talking about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Throwing is Newton. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Here's Newton. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And this one will be brought back to the 22. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
That is caught at the 7. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Latavius Murray, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Gostkowski now out to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. Getting set to go again here. Cam Newton marches back onto the field. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things.
And the Panthers, who were the least penalized team in the entire NFL last year, come up here on a 1st and 15. Now it's Newton. And this will be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Out of the gun, Newton. Going back to Moore. This time he's got him complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Newton on 1st down. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
Throwing again is Newton. This is caught. It's Greg Olsen. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a 1st down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the 1st quarter. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
Back to the ground on 1st. It's McCaffrey. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA and playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. So first and second down went in the wrong direction. They'll try to do better here on 3rd and 13. A shotgun snap for Newton. Being chased out left. He may try and run for this. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. The scramble good for a nice gain of 10 yards, but still 4th down.
Well, partner, nothing comes open here, so he decides to escape out of there, and he doesn't pick up a first down, but he does gain additional yardage to set up a possible field goal attempt if they decide to go that route.
And Gano's kick is right through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They're starting to put some space here. You know, first quarter, they didn't look so hot offensively. This second quarter, though, they've looked really good.
They've jumped in the saddle in a big way now, and now they're in full gallop. I mean, before, kind of cantering around a little bit, right, trying to feel their way, not getting done what they wanted to. But somehow they put it together with play calling, execution, and now there's a pretty big gap.
And they'll look to make that gap even bigger here. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They're going to look to throw. Flush to his right. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. A run, it's Murray. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Gone!
He'll drop to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Now a second down run for Murray. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
They'll set up to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a second and long. Dancing to his left. His throw caught right around the 6. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A nice gain of 21 yards. Now they'll run. Murray. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. Trying to ram his way in, but they're going to hold him back at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle, and he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. This Carolina defense looking to keep him out of the end zone once more. 3rd and goal. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain on the play. And what to do now on 4th and goal. And they turn to a power game to try to get in. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. We'll start over at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. And it's the Lions who are out in front as they play the second quarter. Matthew Stafford's thrown a touchdown pass. From there, let's head up to Baltimore to check in on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And they've got the lead over the visiting Houston Texans. Michael Crabtree, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get out to Jacksonville to see what's happening with the Jaguars at TIAA Bank Field. And you can see there is the visiting Colts who have the lead in that one. Andrew Luck throwing the football well. He has 3 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And now running right through it. And he'll return this one all the way onto the other side of the field.
Partner, when I was in college, we used to have these things called game maxims that we did before every game. One of them...
Second half starts with a run by Murray. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. They go back to Murray on first down, fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. And there on the tackle, Shaq Lawson.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Back to throw. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Noah Spence in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
So it's not an NFL record, but it's not far off. That'll go in the books as a 61-yard field goal.
And wasn't it weird to see a guy line up for a field goal on the other side of midfield? The ball got halfway there, and you thought, no way is that going to make it, but it just kept carrying and carrying, and he winds up sneaking it right over the bar.
Gostkowski now converted for 3. Now he'll kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. To throw on second down is Newton. His throw incomplete. There to knock that one away defensively, Eric Kendricks.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
Now Newton. Incomplete. He had his hands on it, but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. A great return there of 22 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. It's a loss of 10 yards on the play. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Now back to throw. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. That puts a good dent into their first down setback. It's a pickup of 16.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
He'll look to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
The Vikings on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. They'll set up a throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And that last field goal, number 400 for him in his NFL career. I don't know whether this will wind up a Hall of Fame career, but he's certainly been at the top of his profession for quite a while.
And that is without question, my man. One of the best kickers we've seen in the past decade or so. Big congratulations to him. Pretty nice round number.
Gostkowski now converted for 3. Now he'll kick this one away. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. It's hauled in by Ellington. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Carolina. Bruce Ellington, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Panthers have got it back to a 1-score game. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, try to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met. On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
They keep it on the ground, but this time it's Murray. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Pretty nice, aggressive run there before being brought down just inside of the 30. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of this team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. That's caught by Treadwell. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Latavius Murray with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. Needed a couple yards for the 2-point try. They go to the ground game, and it works.
And sometimes it's the exact right thing to do because a lot of teams play you for the pass, so you spread people out, decide to run the football. You often find good running lanes.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Newton. And that's going to be incomplete. Trey Wayne's the Michigan State man right there in coverage.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
Because they have, you're right, they've had no room to breathe. Now Newton. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? I mean, you'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time. This is almost like nickeling and diming it downfield, and too much time's going to run off the clock.
The Panthers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Here's Newton. And he gets it to Funchess complete. A fantastic connection that time. Newton to Funchess. And even 40 yards. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's Newton. Ellington has it, middle of the field. He takes this to the 15. A flashy juke. That got him a couple extra yards. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Again, Newton. This is caught, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd and goal. From the 2 now. 2nd and goal. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They've got it 2nd and goal as they look for a late touchdown. To the air again, Newton. And too much on that one. It's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Illegal touching. Offense.
Down in this one, they needed that score, but they'll have to hold at least for the time being.
You're exactly right. Points that they had to have. As you said, they have to regroup now and see if they can get them another way.
The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. Here we go with McCaffrey. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Panthers are able to get this back within a touchdown.
And they put it in the end zone, which was job 1. Now they have to convert. And then it's decision time, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is what all teams go through. You look at the clock, you're inside 2 minutes, look at your timeouts, make that onside kick decision.
Yeah, how do you feel about your defense, where you are in terms of the scoreboard, and the time left on the clock, as you noted, so many things to go through.
And now looking at the clock here, they do have 2 timeouts, but even if they force a 3 and out, they're going to have very little time remaining.
So that means they've got to be aggressive and find a way to knock the ball free. They've got to come up with it because they can't just rely, as you noted, on using their timeouts and getting the ball back. They might not have any time to mount an attack, even if they do play it that way. Get the football. That's their mantra.
The Panthers are going to take another timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They run with Murray, and he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Carries piling up. It's Murray again. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Kendall Beckwith on the stop.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. In on the tackle there, Luke Kuechly.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding. Offense.
So that one a hold, right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
The left side caught by Diggs. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding. Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. It'll be a gain of 24 on the play. And they're going to face a third down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He gets it forward for 4, maybe 5, but the flag's flying.
Offense.
And this one could be coming back. So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide, and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
And Gostkowski's kick is good. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Minnesota, their strong September has carried over to October as they move to 5-0. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And perhaps fortunately for them, they'll get an early bye next week and come back to action in Week 7. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.